All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back. This is Al from Beginner Knit. Literally in today's tutorial, I'm gonna be taking you through everything you need to know to build strong confidence in using HTML containers. You need it. It is important for you to know it as a beginner. Hence, if you don't know how to use HTML containers, you're probably gonna be having a hard time in building project. Essentially, HTML containers are kind of like the bags or maybe the boxes that we've been using in our daily lives. Then HTML containers are what we use to keep or hold our elements in our website. Great, simple as that. So I'm going to be taking you through everything you need to know to build strong confidence in using HTML containers. Basically, those tags that you see right here are not the only tags that we have in HTML. There are a lot of them. We have opening and closing tag. We also have tags that has no closing and opening tags. It only has open tag like image or something like that. Great, but I'm not going to be taking you through such containers. I just want to explain HTML containers in general for you to understand how it works behind scenes. Great, so let me dive in to explore for you to really grasp a concept, right? But before I start, I wouldn't mind if you subscribe to this channel, and also share it to family and friends who are interested in learning web development to earn from that as freelancers, or maybe if you are having a minor small scale business around you that you want to grow globally. Website is here to help you make that job professional, right? So let's go on. Right, I'm going to start with literally I already have my index file container. If you haven't yet create one, you can start on. Right, great. So I'm going to start with this title description container. Great. This title container is simply a container that is used to keep the description text within the page that you are currently in. For example, in real life, whenever you're reading a book, when you open a new page, the page has index. For example, page 1, page 2, and also have heading. This title container simply provides you a container for the description text of the page that you are in, right? For example, if I was building real life project, this could be like a home page. And if this were home page, like you do see home page right here. But when you first print this whole HTML dump out, you notice that the default text that is going to be here will be document. So you can change it to the page that you want. It could be home, it could be about, and a lot more. Great. So that's what this title container comes to do, provide description for the page. Great. So let me move to this text right here. Almost as you can see, family, it works as if it's the same. Great. So this text right here works as if it is the same, but it has different name. That means you need to know where to use it and where not to use it. Before I start to explain things, first of all, as a programmer or as a web developer, you need to learn how to write clean code. If you don't know how to write clean code, you're probably going to be having a hard time in reading your code, or maybe any other person who's going to be reading your code would be having a hard time. So these tags come to give you a way to write clean code. Here is the example. In our website, for example, you decide to have a header tag. Let me open this website for you to see. Great, here we go. As we open this website, you see we have our logo, we have the navigation bar, links, and we also have background image and all these containers, the button, and all that's heading. Great. Behind scenes, this header tag is what is used to engulf all that element within the header section. Like this logo container is different container. This links and this big button that has, form in it is a different container. You see this text animation right here is a different container, and the headings, the button, and all that is in different containers inside, the header container. So the header container is simply a big container that you can use to gather any element that you have within your header section like this. Great. So let me move on to nav tag. So this nav tag is simply the same as the container, but in a nutshell, this nav tag is navigation, which also provide another container for the links or header. So the navigation bar is simply an important part for your website, which provide, the important element. It could be links or any other things, right, within your website, so that user can jump from one page to another page, or user can easily get your information. So I'm not going to go through, explain much about navigation in this video. That will be another video, but I just want you to know that this tag is simply another container which provide, space for links or maybe any important element that you're gonna be having within your website. So it is another container. So when you first start to write, start building your project, it is best practice using the header first, and then this navigation bar start inside the header, and then write. If you start to write your code, this header section simply provide a big container to hold every element that you have, and this navigation bar is another container that you can use to keep the important element that you have within your header. Great. So let's move to footer. So this footer tag is essential to this navigation bar tag. The navigation bar tag provide a container for the important element that you have within your website in the header, right? It is essential as the footer. The footer provide the important links that you have within this, navigation bar in the bottom, on the bottom of your website. For example, let's go back to the website. When you open a website and start to browse through, you're going at the end of the website, you see a container. It might be different color, and for sure probably it always gonna be different color, right? So you can see that the logo that we have here is also happen to appear here with, a text and a headings, and also the links that we have within the navigation bar. It happen to appear within, the footer, right? So this container right here simply provide, a space for the element that's the same element within your header in the bottom section, right? So it is simply container. All these are containers, right? But this is for the headings, and this is for navigation bar, and this is for footer. And I'm not going to take you through or explain much about the footer for you to get confused. I'm going to be taking you through steps, or the section of website, and that will be next video. But for this video, it's all about container, right? Great. So let's move to this, div tag. It is one main container, it is kind of like dynamic. You can decide to build your whole website without using this container and use this, div tag. But it is best practice to use or to build your project accordingly. So if you are going to start building your project, start with the header, which is for the header container, the navigation bar for the nav for the navigation bar container, the footer for the bottom line of the container, and this div container right here is suite for the body section, right? For example, let's go back to our website once again. For example, we have let me just stop here for you to understand. For example, we have this containers right here, which has an icon, heading, and a text. So behind says this div container is what is keeping those element within our website. And after all those little containers, you could see that we have our service, and behind sense within all these containers are inside a container. So I just want you to simply know that this is a simple container for the body section. Either you want it for paragraph, or for to keep your pictures for you, or maybe any kind of things that you have. For example, this toggle bar tool is also inside a container like this. So it is simply a container which is best practice to be used within the body section, right? Great. So this is for the header, this is for navigation, this is for footer, the bottom section of your website, and this is div container dynamic, which can be used for any to keep any element within the body section. Let's move to the h1 tag. The h1 tag is simply headings. It's here to provide you a container for the headings that you're going to be having in your website. For example, when we go back to our website, we have about us. That is the headings for this whole container, right? We have our picture here, we have our text, and we first have our header before all that. So this h1 tag simply provides you a container, and it starts from 1 to 6, which is the lower the number is, the higher the font is. The higher the number is, the lower the font is. Great, simple as that. So you don't need to, you can decide to use h2, h3, h4 up to h6. It starts from 1 to 6. So it is your best choice to use when you are building your project. I just want you to understand that this is container simply for headings. So when we start to build real life project, you don't need to kind of feel like, I don't know what this h1 used for, right? So let me move to the p tag. So this p tag simply provide paragraph. I'm not going to go through this for you to, it is like that paragraph, right? When you write, for example, let's go back to our website for you to literally understand things, right? Great. So here we go. We have our first paragraph, we have our second paragraph. So to use this p tag, when you write your first paragraph, finish, you want to start your second paragraph, you provide this tag again. Then you start to write your second paragraph. So that means this is just like this, right? After writing your two paragraphs, it's going to be like this, right? So this tag simply provides you paragraph. So let's move to this description text right here. The spine and the M is simply for description. It provides you description. Maybe after coming up with your header or maybe your text, you still want to provide description. For example, about us, you can see this is description, right? So that is the M. This description, this tag is for description. All two of these are for description. You can decide to use the spine or maybe this M, but this spine is mostly what you're probably going to be seeing most people using, right? So it's simply for description, like this. Let me calm down for you to see another description. Like you see, Anita Patrick, here we go. This is description, right? And that is for the span. Span is what provides this description, right? Great. So simply, this two tag is for description, and sometimes you can decide not to use this and use maybe h5, h6 for your description. It depends on what you want, but I just want you to understand that this is what is the span is used for. Great. So without much ado, let's move to this UL tag right here. So this UL tag simply provides you a line. Let's move back to our website for you to literally understand how things go. Let's go back to the Notion. For example, you see right here we have home, about us, contact us, blog page, service page, project page. That's it. So these two tags that you see right here is what is giving you that, right? For example, if you want to write it, you do use it is here is how you write it. Okay, you do like this. I'm sorry, my bad. You do like this, and then you write whatever you want to write inside. Let's say code. Let me go another I say HTML. So if I print this out, you see that code HTML, right? So it provides you container for a sequence of a list of product, or a list of names, or a list of anything that you want within your website, right? So these are the important containers that we have in HTML. So you need to bear in mind this. You need to know how to use this. It is important. So I just wanna I found out that containers are most important thing to know in HTML. So I come up with this video to let you open your eye, for you to let you understand it. And in HTML, or maybe in any program language that you're probably going to be learning, it is best practice to try it out, not just learning it. So I don't need to kind of provide you everything that you need to know. Test it, try it out, and see how it works, right? So I come up with this so that maybe later on, when we start to build project as a beginner, you won't get overwhelmed, or you won't literally kind of thinking what this header for and what this navigation bar for. Great, right? So this is for heading, this is for navigation, this is for footer below, and this is for a container that can be used for any element within the body section, right? For example, or you see, it is a container. The div container is what is behind says keeping this. As you can see, we have another containers here, and we also have another containers. So behind says the div tag is what is keeping it. We have h1, which is for heading, right? We have our header here, so which is start from 1 to 6. We have our p tag, which is for paragraphs, right? The paragraphs, when you write your first and you want to start second one, you provide another one. We learned that this span to these tags as are description tags. Span and m is for description that you can use. Maybe after providing your header, you still want to add another text like this, then you can decide to come up with this two tags right here. Great. So learn that this is for list, right? If you haven't a list of product, or a names, or any kind of list that you want to provide within your website, this tag right here provides you that UL or OL, right? So this will be the end of our video. In our next video, I'm going to be taking you through everything you need to know about website, the important part of website, what you need to know about website. Building website, you first need to know the important part of website. As I was explaining, I come across the navigation bar, which is what we're going to be talking more about in our next video. So keep in touch, see you in the next video, right? Great, take care.